This week we have something special on the channel, the Smart Fortwo, except it's for one if you're called Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. This is a very small car, it's very economical, and it's something nice for in-town driving or grandmas. And in this case, it's more budget friendly than something like a Volkswagen Polo. It's as economical as something like the Volkswagen Polo, and it looks like a mini G-Wagon because it's just a small brick. If we have a look at the wheels and tires of this car, they're pretty small in this case, 15 inches, you don't need a lot more. You don't need a lot more, and in this case, they do look nice. You can get optional different wheels, but this is fine in my opinion. From the side, there's nothing special about this car. It's just, it is what it is. You're buying what you're getting, and I just don't have any more words for it. So having a look at the back of the smart car, it's straight, like a surfboard. And in this case, nothing really special. We have a small window. We have the windscreen wiper which goes from up to down. And in this case, you can open the boot either electrically or with your key. And in this case, we can open it electrically. So I'm going to show you in this beast of a car. So you press this button, then you hear some zooming. And then the cover opens. It's a two-piece. So first off, the glass goes up. Then you have two little fobs right here, which you press down. And then the rest of it opens. And there's enough space for about 2 grocery bags and some filming footage. So that's about it. As you can see from the back, we already have some AMG Brabus seats in this car. For those of you who don't know, Smart is part of Mercedes, and you can buy it as a special Brabus Smart, which would be really nice in this case, but this one isn't. So that's about it for the exterior of the car. There isn't really that much to look at. So let's hop in the car. Getting inside the Smart Fortwo, we are actually with 2 people. We have this glass roof and this thing which you can slide around for if the sun is beaming in your eyes. So that's a nice thing. We have this huge key which looks like a Ben & Jerry ice cream. Sometimes the car doesn't start in one try. Then the car needs to be like immobilized or something. So then you press the open button, the car opens. Then you put the key down here, like you're driving a race car. Turn it over, like always, foot on the brake, and then it goes. It's a 1-liter engine which puts out roughly about 60 to 70 horsepower. And we have 2 kinds of automatic gearboxes, the one which shifts up and down, and this one only shifts down. So in this case, you do have to put it in gear, and you always have to put your seatbelt on because that's safety. So in this case, you can drive the car, only you do have to manually shift up either with the gear knob down here or with the pads behind your steering wheel right here. You do have Brabus pedals down there. And unlike most of the automatic cars, if you let your foot off the brake, the car doesn't go. So that's something you have to do yourself. So let's see how this car performs on the road. So this is the gear lever. As you can see, it's in neutral now. Now it's in gear. Then we can start the drive. And the upshifts, that's something we have to do. The steering is pretty light if you're driving. If you're standing still like this and you want to change the steering wheel, it almost doesn't even want to move. So back into the reverse gear. Of course, no parking sensors, no camera, no nothing, but you don't really need it in this car because it's so small, it's almost difficult to hit something. The horn is, you can, almost forgetting to shift. As you can see, this is where the horn would normally be, but it does nothing. So the horn is down here. It's a bit of a clown's horn. Right here you have a clock, you have your RPMs, you can see how much gas you have left and the oil temperature. So as you can see, the car already shifted down. So if you have a look, it's in second, now it's in first. No one coming, so let's go. So this is pretty fast if you want it to be fast. It also feels really fast because the car is barely isolated. So if you're driving, it feels like you're sitting in a rocket and going over 1,000 kilometers an hour, which in fact is not the case, but it does feel like it, so it's very nice. Driving on roads like these, where you have to drive like 60 to 80 kilometers an hour, it's not really the car for that. But if you get into the city where we're heading now and you're driving on some smaller roads and going 30 to 50 kilometers an hour, taking this thing to the shops and parking it, that's what it's made for. Doing some groceries, or if you're just a grandma, then it's also made for you. So that's about it. All right. You feel the power? That's, whoa! go in. FYI, the car is pretty light, so if it ever breaks down, you should be able to push it back home. So let's have a look how well that goes. It shouldn't be that difficult to push. All right, this is gonna be a long walk home, boy. All right, so this car is now in the place where it should be. In city roads, 50 kilometers an hour. Using the pedal shifters like a real Brabus that it is. So this is actually where the car performs. It's chill, it's not very isolated, but it does what it has to do. It's pretty fuel efficient if you're driving it like this on these kind of roads, or if you're taking it to the shops just to buy some quick groceries. That's really what this car is about. You can drive it on the highway. It taps out at around 140 kilometers an hour, or I don't even think it will make 140 kilometers an hour, but it definitely makes 100 kilometers an hour, so you can get on the highway, but it's not really something I would recommend. The car is not made for that. It's not a purpose for it. It's way too bad isolated to enjoy a drive in this on the highway. It's definitely not made for long roads. So this is just it. City driving, commutes, going to work if you're living there and your work is over there and you want to go in the rain and you want to be dry, so you're not going on your bicycle or something. There's not really a lot to say about this car. It's nothing special, as you can see, nothing fancy. It's just a small, budget-friendly, eco-friendly car to just take you from A to B, or to buy your grandma. Either one of the two, which one you want. Would this be a nice car to have if you're never driving more than 15 minutes from A to B? Yes, it's a nice car, it's budget-friendly, it's eco-friendly. So is this something I would recommend? Definitely if you just drive in the city you live in. If you want something more comfortable, there are 1001 more options which you can choose from. But this was it for this week, and I'll see you next time.